here we go. So, continuing our conversation with 13 Reasons Why, and hopefully this is the last video I'm going to do on this. But we already talked about, is redemption possible? The show makes it very clear, I'd say, that no, it's not. Doesn't matter if your thing is drugs, if it's sexual assault, if it's whatever it is. That's your frame. The world is going to view you through forever, and there's no coming back from it. Just accept that's your branding, and that's the end of it for you. However, the next subject I'd like to discuss is, can a liar be considered loyal? And in our gut, like, no way. A person, like, one of the worst betrayals you can experience at the hands of another person is being lied to. And of course, there's different grades of lies. Like, there's the Santa Claus lies versus there's I kissed your boyfriend kind of lies. Like, there's different kinds of lie, but it doesn't really matter. If you're a kid and you found out your parents have been lying to you about the tooth fairy or Santa Claus, it changes your relationship from that point on. What else can I trust you with? If you find out that your kid has been lying to you about anything, you're just like, wow, I thought our relationship was different than this. I thought you knew you could come to me with anything. And as friends, I think friendship is one of the most fragile relationships that we have growing up. That they're the most prone to change, whereas like family stays pretty rigid. I mean, things like divorce come into play, but for the most part, dad is dad, mom is mom, brother is brother, sister is sister. Like, and it continues to be that way, and that's your background context for your relationship. You'll go through waverings of intimacy during different phases, but for the most part, family is family. But friendship is different. You could be close friends with somebody in junior high, transition up to high school, and then you never see each other practically again. Or the person moves away because their parents who were military get restationed somewhere, or and then that's it. Fandoms change. Well, I'm not really into that subject anymore. I dropped out of that sport because I couldn't keep my grades up, or changed schools, or I dropped out and went to independent studies, or whatever. I stopped going to that church, and then that friendship kind of, the bottom fall, whatever that surrounding context, the bottom of it just kind of falls out of the friendship. And so as a result, we have a much lower tolerance for betrayal or brokenness or dishonesty in those relationships, because we recognize how just shallow they are to begin with. And so you have a character who is named Ani that's introduced during season 3 for the first time, never before seen. And her character is basically just a sequence of continuous, deeply seated lies to every other character. All she does is just lie throughout the entire episode. Multiple of them during just about every episode features at least one or multiple lies on her behalf. And the culminating with the very end, in which Ani even admits to law enforcement that she's lied about various things to various people under various circumstances, and yet continues to see herself and expect others to see her as an objective source of information, that she's reliable. And it's something that I really struggle with, like, wait, like, you really think some people are going to take you seriously, even though you're a serial liar? And oddball reference, Ray Comfort in his Living Waters channel, his videos where he's interviewing people, he often interviews people and he'll say, so have you ever told lies? How many lies have you told? And the person will say, yes, I've told lots of lies. And then the next question is, have you stolen or have you ever lusted? And the person will they'll say yes or they'll say no. And the person will say, and Ray Comfort will respond with, well, are you lying about that? Because once you've admitted that you're a liar, is anything you say trustworthy? See, we all are willing to admit, well, we're human, we're failures, we're flawed, we lie, and yet we want people to believe that we're honest still. It's this weird cognitive dissonance that we have in our mind that, well, I don't lie all the time, just some of the time. And this is why the gospel is so important, that we all have this baseline assumption about ourselves that even though discounting our numerous flaws, we still demand respect, we still demand authenticity, and we especially, like, you better not lie to me even though I have innumerably lied to others. We have this unbalanced view of ourselves that we're so important in the lives of other people. We have this expectation of respect among other people that honestly we don't deserve. And then we extend that up to God as if our self-image of goodness, of decency, of whatever it is, should extend to Him, that He needs to respect our goodness, even though we're so willing to admit that our goodness really isn't that good. So, this is why we need the gospel. This is why we need Christ. Because without Him, all we are is a pile of dishonest, selfish, unreliable narrators.